Hey y'all, we are live. I know it's been a minute, y'all. I know it's been a minute. I had to get some things together internally because I am so sensitive to energy. The last time I went live, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The last time I went live, baby, I was feeling everyone and everything. So I've been having to get me together and being able to master my gifts, my psychic abilities, and all the things I feel because I be feeling everything. So we going live today. We doing things we haven't did. We doing new things. We doing things scared. We doing things when our voice shaking. So if y'all come into the chat, please put your name and put where you from. Where you from? I'm from Houston, Texas. I don't know where y'all from, but I had two other videos I was gonna do before this, y'all. I recorded it. Neither one of them actually saved. So one of them was recorded on my phone, and the other one was recorded on my laptop, and neither one of them saved. So I'm guessing, not guessing, I'm knowing that I'm supposed to go live because I've been feeling it in my spirit lately. And instead of me staying in a fearful, scared energy, I'm going to do what's uncomfortable. I'm going to do something new. And I say fearful, scared energy because I'm not used to going live, y'all. I'm not used to going live. Not that I'm scared to talk in front of the camera because y'all know I do it all the time. But being live is different from recording a video because being live, y'all seeing me raw, no edits, no cuts. Y'all gonna see me mess up words, and that's okay. That's fine because we're growing and we're elevating. So as long as we're doing that, we're good. So as y'all come into the chat, I ask that y'all put y'all name and put where y'all from. So today video, it's that sage, y'all. Today video is going to be about the reservation of self. So when we talk about the reservation of self, we're talking about you going through a death and a rebirth, you transforming from the inside out, you letting go old versions of yourself. We always talk about how we all want to get to heaven, right? Which I feel heaven is a mind state, a state of being, a state of consciousness, and not a place that you go, but to each his own. We all want to get to this heaven state, but no one wants to transcend to get to this heaven state. No one wants to overcome themselves to get to this heaven state. So, on this journey of healing and overcoming myself, I had to realize that I'm going to have to let go of some things. I'm going to have to change some things, and I'm going to have to shift some things. So, when I was on this journey and I started realizing maybe it is some things I need to heal, maybe it is some things I need to face. That's when I knew that I was going to have to let go of old version of myself. I was going to have to say, okay, this version of me, it got me this far, but this version of me cannot go where I am going. This version of me is stuck in the past. This version of me is hurt. This version of me is still sad. So I had to let go of outdated versions of myself. And it wasn't easy. And it didn't happen overnight. But I had to have that courage. And I had to know that on the other side of me letting go this version of myself, on the other side of me walking through this portal, walking through this door, it's going to be success. It's going to be victory. It's going to be healing. So I had to do what I had to do. And like my godmother say all the time, either you gonna shit or you gonna get off the pot. And that's how I've been feeling lately, y'all. I've been feeling like if I say I'm this person, then I gotta move like this person. If I say I'm doing this, then I gotta do it. these are promises that we have to keep to ourselves. And this is a part of self love. You facing you is a part of self love. You being there for you is a part of self love. You healing you is a part of self love. So I had to realize that it's okay to cry, it's okay to scream. I said this in one of my past videos. A lot of the times on my journey, I've screamed, I've cried, I've let go of these things because that is a form of transformation. That is a form of transmuting energy. We all have the power to transmute energy. We all have the power to move energy and shift within ourselves. And when we shift within ourselves, we have the ability to shift everything else around us. We have the ability to know that I am the creator of my reality and what I say goes. So I really just been like in a transformational period right now. I feel that I can only get better. I can only evolve. And I know that if I'm not at where I desire to be at, it's nobody but me. It's no one that's holding me back but me. It's no one in my way but me. So once I start realizing that even more, I start saying, okay, I gotta show up. And when I show up, I gotta show out. And when I'm showing up for myself first. I can't show up for other people before I show up for myself. I can't keep my word to other people if I can't keep my word to myself. So on this journey, it's been times where I had to sit with myself, look myself in the mirror, and I remember one time I was on a journey, a strong journey, and I went to the restroom. And when I looked in the mirror, it was like my face was murphing. It was like my face was melting. And I say that because we all have the ability to shape shift in some way. What we don't understand is over our life experiences, we split into different people. When I say split, whoever you had to be in your household, whoever you had to be at your school, whoever you had to be in front of your parents, whoever you had to be to survive. We split into these different personalities. We split into these different aspects of ourselves because we want to be accepted, because we want to be loved, because we want to be seen. All these different things make us split into different versions of ourselves. And they come through programming, they come from projections, they come from our environment. But we have to understand that those are not really true aspects of ourselves. So when I looked in that mirror, I was like, is I'm tripping? Like, is I'm seeing what I'm really seeing? And I had to realize I am. I'm seeing this because what if this trying to show me? What if this is trying to show me something? What is this trying to show me? Suppress emotions that I have internally. What is this trying to show me? Suppress versions of myself that I have not faced yet. So I don't know if y'all know, but the mirror is a portal. So when you're looking in that mirror, you're not just looking at yourself, you're looking at different versions of you. You're looking at the divinity within you. When you start to do this healing work and start to deep dive within yourself, you will see that the only person you truly can change, the only person that you truly have some type of effect on is yourself, because we can point out everybody else. We can tell everybody else what they need to do, who they need to be doing it with, where they need to be at. But it's about us assisting ourselves. It's about us seeing ourselves and knowing that if I sit with myself and I face myself, baby, it don't matter what anybody else is doing with their reality. It don't matter what this person is doing, that person is doing, how they doing it. It's about you because this is your reality, right? So once I started to realize that not every aspect of myself is perfect, and that's okay. Not every version of myself is what I want the world to see, and that's okay. But I don't have to suppress that. I don't have to feel bad. What I can do is face myself. What I can do is give myself grace. What I can do is give myself compassion. So once I start giving myself compassion and start giving myself grace and start looking at things from a higher perspective, because once you start looking at things from a higher perspective, you start to realize that a lot of the things that we do out of life and in life is because of survival. It's because of programming. It's because of how we was raised. And it's not to make us feel bad. It's not to make us feel sad. It's for us to be aware that that's really not who you are. It's not who you are. It's who you've been molded to be. And I had to realize that I gotta let go of some past versions of myself. I gotta sit with myself and be okay with sitting with myself because people don't know how to do that. People don't know how to sit with themselves and be with themselves. They say they love themselves, but when it comes down to sitting with themselves, when it comes down to being with themselves, some people can't even be single for some time because they're scared to be alone. They're literally scared to be alone. So once I started realizing that it doesn't matter what I do externally, as in the tattoos, all the different things to add to my physical body, if my internal body is not okay, I'm not okay, right? So I had to realize that and know that I'm more than my body. Because at one point I didn't know that. At one point I thought my body and my looks was everything. And I always had a sense of knowing I was more. I always had a sense of knowing that it was more for me in life and that it's more to life than what's been given, but I never truly understood what that meant. Not during the periods of life where I was going through different things. This didn't hit me until after I started to do the healing. Once you start to heal, you start to understand things differently. Not understand, but understanding, because you're understanding from a different perspective. You're understanding from a perspective of growth and elevation and expansion, and not from a perspective of hurt, pain, and victimship. So once I got out of feeling like a victim to life, a victim to my past, a victim to my reality, that's when things started to open up for me. And life became a little more easier. I can breathe a little better. I can see a little clearer. I can hear a little better, you know? So once I start to let go of all the things that was not serving me, whether it was friends, whether it was associates, whatever it was, I had to realize that and know, okay, I'm saying I want to be this person, but I'm hanging around people that's not trying to do what I'm doing. I'm hanging and accepting things in my reality that I don't resonate with. Why do we why do we associate ourselves with things that we don't truly resonate with? And we think it's normal because we're comfortable. We think it's okay because that's all we know. We think this is where I'm supposed to be at because if I was supposed to do something different, then I would have been did it. But what we have to realize is it takes us, not someone else coming into your life telling you you need to change or you should change, but you looking yourself in the mirror and letting yourself know that I need to change. I want to change. I want to do better. I know I can do better, right? Because everybody else, including me, everybody else can see that you can be powerful, that you have greatness within you. But if you don't see it within yourself, if you don't see it within yourself, it doesn't matter. And I talk about this all the time. I talk about this all the time. And I feel like that Michael Jackson song went over a lot of people's head when he said, I'm looking at that man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways. Because if you really want to change the world, if you really want to change your reality, you got to look yourself in the mirror. You got to look and change the person that you see in the mirror, not out of I don't like myself, not out of insecurities, not out of because I'm caring what other people say or think, but because you know that you're meant for more, you know that you're meant for greatness. I feel a lot of the times we be going through different transformational periods in our lives, the butterfly in the cocoon, the butterfly in the caterpillar, and we're not even realizing that we're going through these different periods in our lives. We're going through transformational periods in our lives. And I like to consider that a portal of new beginnings, a portals of rebirth and death, a portal of a new opening, of expansion, because when that butterfly is a butterfly, it's not nothing you can tell that butterfly it doesn't know, because that butterfly is free. That butterfly is being what it is, right? But when it is a caterpillar, it's learning itself. It's having to travel down a journey. It's having to experience different things, different climates, because we know that with the birth of different insects, they have to be in nature, right? And they have to experience different temperatures. And within these different temperatures, it's up to them to continue on living in the night if they can adapt to what's happening around them. So once that caterpillar is on its journey, it has to get to safety. It has to get to the place it's going to make its cocoon. And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that it has an internal knowing inside of it telling it, go to this area to make your cocoon. Go over here to make your cocoon because you're going to be safe, because you're not going to be bothered by anything or anybody, right? So we have to know that when we're in our cocoon season, or when we're in our inward season, that we're going to have patience, and we're going to have to be still and sit within ourselves to know ourselves. We're going to have to dig deep and see what's on the inside. And it may seem dark on the inside, but it's some light up in there. If you look, if you dig, and if you really adventure on the inside, you will see that it's light on the inside of you. But it's up to you to see it. It's up to you to find it. It's up to you to remember it. And this is what I help a lot of my clients with, them remembering, them remembering their true divinity, them remembering that I'm not all of this. I'm not that. I'm who I say I am. And once I start to realize that within myself, now I'm able to help other women know that too. And now I'm able to help other women go through, get through, and overcome childhood trauma, because we all have it. Of course, some may be more than others, but we all have experienced different things within our childhood that brought out certain emotions, that made us feel certain ways. Whatever the case may be, we have all experienced that. So I had to realize that on this journey, it's okay to take a peek on the inside. It's okay to see what's on the inside, right? It's like it kind of what I'm seeing right now. It kind of reminds me from when we was at school, and we would get a question right at school, and we would get a prize out of the bag, and we wouldn't know what's on the inside of the bag, right? But we get that prize and we get that answer right. It's the same thing. Once you dig inside yourself, ain't no telling what you will find. It's not all darkness. It's not all bad. It's not all sad. It's not all anger. For the most part, the anger that we experience is just a signal. The sadness that we experience is just a signal. It's your child self. It's your self letting you know, I'm not liking it. Something's up. I don't know. So you have to know that sometimes when we suppress our child self or different versions of ourselves, they will show up and they will show out for real. So we have to know that we can't keep suppressing. You think by you suppressing your emotions and what you feel is going to go away, but it's not. It's not going to go away. We talk about death and rebirth. We know that the only thing that's constant in life is change. And with change, different things happen that sometimes we can't control. But if we're trusting the process and trusting our journey and trusting ourselves, we know that change can be a good thing. We know that with life and with nature comes the seasons, and they're changing, and no one sit here and judge the seasons, right? No one say it's fall. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad because it's fall. I feel bad for the trees because they all their leaves falling off. No one is saying that, because that tree knows it has to go through a cycle, and what it going through its cycles. Ooh, y'all, it's that stage, my bad. With it going through its cycles, it's knowing that just how I lost my leaves, I can get them back. They're going to grow back. I know that my roots in the ground is still secure, right? Oh, excuse me, y'all. I know that my roots in the ground is still secure. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still stable. I still have a healthy and strong foundation, right? It doesn't make me not a tree because I don't have leaves at the moment. It doesn't make me not strong because I don't have leaves at the moment. That tree isn't saying, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad because I don't have no leaves right now." That tree is still knowing it's a tree, regardless of what it looks like on the outside. And I feel in life we sometimes forget that. We forget that we're still this pure energy before the world touches, before society say this is who you're supposed to be. We're this pure energy. And we forget that sometimes. Yeah, this stage got my eyes running. Sometimes we forget that, right? But it's okay because we can always remember, we can always find ourselves. And I'm in a period right now. Y'all gonna see all of me today. I'm not cutting nothing out. I can't even cut anything out. This is live, baby. I'm in a period in my life right now where I feel the more I heal, the more I evolve, the more my consciousness grow, the more I love on myself, the more I know myself, the more I value myself, and know my worth, I feel the more I don't care. And when I say I don't care about how me showing up as me, it makes other people feel in a sense of if I'm being my true self and being me for real, how other people feel is none of my business. It's none of my business. So I'm starting to realize because I accept me fully, it doesn't matter who doesn't accept me fully. And I'm not going to shrink and I'm not going to construct and I'm not going to bend or break myself to make anyone feel comfortable. So I'm learning to not just show certain versions of myself, but show me fully. Because showing me fully is where the true power is. Showing me fully is where my heart is. Showing me fully is where my freedom is. So I may not be everybody cup of coffee, but baby, I like tea anyways. It's okay because we're not meant to be for everyone. What resonate for you is what resonate for you. So I know here on this channel, it's all about expansion, healing, growing, self love, wisdom, different different schools of thoughts. So we're here to evolve. We're here to be free because sometimes the chains don't have to be physical for you to feel like you're in prison. Sometimes the chains don't have to be physical for you to feel like you're in hell, right? Because it's a mindset, it's a mindset, it's the way that you think, it's the way that you feel. And I had to realize that. I had to realize that. And once I realized that I got that key to that gate, to that cell, I opened that cell up and I got out of the cage, right? Because we got that choice. We have that choice to free ourselves. No one else is going to free you. You have to free you, right? So I had to go through a lot of periods on this journey of me sitting with myself and coming up with these conclusions. It's a lot of things that I have experienced on my journey internally that I reflected on that I can't even describe in words because they're meant for me. They're meant for me to understand the truth behind of what I was feeling or going through in that moment at that time and place. So I feel with life, you're going to have to get rid of, kill, let go of different versions of yourself, past versions of yourself. And that's okay. It's okay. And it may hurt, but they really not you. Because who's really you is the person that wants to do better and can do better. Really though. So before we go, I do want to say I have an announcement. I do have my self love journals out now. I have the digital version and the physical version for pre orders. You can download the digital in my link in my bio or pre order the physical on my booking website. Is there anything else? If y'all would like any of my services, they will be down in the description box. I do one on one self love healing sessions, and I also do self love plus child self healing sessions. If y'all are interested, please let me know. I thank y'all and I love y'all. Until next time, healing honey. Peace.